Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. In today's video, we are talking about NVIDIA, SoFi, jobs, AI, regulation, the government, a whole bunch of other things. Google, Robinhood, maybe some Shift4 and Axon, and other discussions that we can get into, or other earnings that were tonight. How is everybody doing? Vincent, June. Who else is here? Nova, Caleb. What's up, everyone? Neep. What's up, guys? Josh, Harry. Harry's in chat. Okay. Yeah, let's jump in. Okay, we've got a lot to cover, and I don't want to hold you guys off for too long here. Okay, as you guys can see, and as you guys have probably been feeling over the day, we are in blood red territory. Blood is in the streets. We are seeing extreme fear. Semiconductor markets are down 2.7% across the industry, US industry. The NASDAQ's down 1.9%. These are, not everyday movements that you get to see. This is once in a while. It's times like this that we want to remain calm, try to buy dips where we can, the usual, okay? I repeat this constantly. However, Shay on X ended up putting this very beautifully, and I want to just highlight this really quickly, or at least a part of it. My biggest advice on days like today is don't sell just for the sake of feeling safe. When you do, you're giving your future compounding to someone who can sit through that discomfort longer than you can. It's not intelligence that separates good investors from great ones, but actual emotional endurance. I like that. Emotional endurance. So I wanted to highlight that because obviously I talk about it constantly, having that iron stomach, as I often put it. At the end of the day, whenever you start valuing your portfolio based on the assets that you have in it, rather than the way that the market perceives it, I feel very comfortable sitting with NVIDIA and SoFi and Google and Amazon and Shopify and all the other businesses that I hold. And I say businesses because that's what they are. They're not just stocks. They're businesses that are compounding regardless of how people feel about the market in a short-term period, okay? Over the long term, obviously, I remain bullish on those companies. And if I don't, I trim them immediately. Okay. So that's very important. And hopefully people stick with that going forward. Now, let's talk about what actually ended up starting a lot of this worry. It actually had to do with Jensen Huang and some of the comments that he's made that has such unbelievable control over the entire semiconductor market. Jensen Huang has warned that China will beat the United States in an artificial intelligence race thanks to lower energy costs and looser regulations. Now, they ended up actually clarifying, and because it had caused such a panic in the markets, NVIDIA's own X had to post this. As I've long said, China is nanoseconds behind America in AI. It's vital that America wins by racing ahead and winning developers worldwide. It's very important. So he maybe had panicked people saying that China will win, and people are saying that, he's almost concluded his own loss in this race. But then he had to sort of pull that back and say, no, I'm not trying to suggest that we've already lost. But I actually think he's saying the right thing here. He needs the administration and the many large business leaders to understand that this is not a foregone conclusion that American tech and NVIDIA has won because they have large businesses today. That regulation cannot get in the way of what NVIDIA is doing. And by putting a little fear and a little realization, sort of shaking the administration, saying, guys, look, China is right behind us, okay? Please, as aggressively as they are of stepping away from the regulation, that you guys need to do that as well, okay? That's exactly what he's trying to do here. He's not concluding that they have won already, but if the wrong steps are made going forward, they could easily win. I have full faith in Jensen. Obviously, the large percentage of my portfolio is hanging on that company. And the reason why that is that I do think America will not lose the race. I think that Jensen Huang will be sort of a flag leader, a front runner for keeping American technology at the forefront of, worldwide business. China can get their hands on chips anyway. Yeah, but if their hands are on American chips, then that keeps the more U.S. jobs intact. That keeps more tax-paying dollars. Even if it's not going through traditional channels, somebody paid the taxes on those products. So I don't care if they're cooking their books or something like this and somehow getting their hands on chips. If at some point it went through NVIDIA channels, those books are legit. Okay? But you're right. It's hard to control an entire nation's ability to import chips. There have been many people. I know that Jensen, and there's been a couple people that say there is no chips getting to China. There have been multiple arrests made, like teams and teams that have been arrested bringing in chips to China and other areas through Singapore, through Taiwan, stuff like this. Okay. Let's actually, can I show you guys this? I was going to highlight this. What is this? Okay, this is a little off topic already. I apologize. But Xpeng, which is a Chinese technology business that's getting the humanoid robot space, unveiled one of their new humanoid robots, but people are questioning if this is a robot at all. Take a look at this. You guys tell me, is this a humanoid robot? And by the way, they claim it is. To me, that looks like a person. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Obviously, it's got some robotic movement, but the dimensions are fitting. There's no, I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought that was so freaking funny. I saw that and I'm like, well, maybe it's a prototype. Or maybe they're going to replace it with a real robot soon. The chest is moving up and down for breathing. Oh, I need to look back and see that. Is that true? Here, wait. Let's see whenever it's still if we could see it breathing. Let's see.
Our team had intense arguments and discussions about how it can prove itself. Let's first invite the staff.
Can I see the chest moving?
We want to use scissors to open below the robot's legs. We will see that this robot has skin, muscles, and bones. Before us, we ourselves have not tried cutting its skin and muscles while the robot is powered on.
Jeez. Isn't that freaking funny? I actually didn't even see this part, so I don't know if maybe this is of one. Oh, see, no, they did remute. Okay, I didn't even see this part. No, they ended up revealing it because it looked so legit. Okay, because this ended up getting posted all over the place, and people are saying that there's a human in there. They literally cut it off. Like literally, look. This was the comment. Is this a human or actual robot? And everyone's saying it's a human, and they literally show. Unless this is somebody that doesn't have a leg or hands or something. Humanoid robotic makes it look like it's a human. Yeah, but yeah, some amputee. It definitely looks human. But also, my thing that I don't understand is why do they have to look exactly human? Like, are we designed as the perfect, it could be tricks. It could be, you're right. No, it could be CGI or something like this. I mean, Penn and Teller can go up on stage and confuse me on how they cut somebody's body in half, then I mean, like, who knows? But what's it called? Yeah, I never understood why they don't have like 4 legs or something like this. Why does it have to be human with a head and everything? What's the point of that? Okay, let's continue on. David Sachs actually made quite the sort of news break here today. There will be no federal bailout for AI. The US has at least 5 major frontier model companies. If one fails, another one will take its place. This was due to comments from OpenAI asking if this would be the case. Now, they weren't saying that in case of a bailout, but more just sort of questioning the importance of American companies. Sam Altman came out to defend himself because obviously this got very, very popular online. But David Sachs, thankfully, says, that said, we will be helping with permitting and power generation. That's what Jensen just asked for. You know, he said that China is leading in the way of less regulation and, better power generation. So the government does have its place here to step in, but I'm happy that David Sachs specifically said that this is not going to be the case. Like, they're not going to be bailing out companies. There should never be companies that are too big to fail. I do agree that financial institutions, the high majority of people are not going to want to look into the balance sheet of their local bank, especially for local banks. So the government does sometimes need to step in for financial institutions to make sure that their customers are not, completely going broke. But privatized companies that are selling a service and not managing your money, I don't know. I'm okay with OpenAI going down if they end up making $1.4 trillion of commitments with money that they don't have. Maybe, one day they will have that money, but also they don't get to take unlimited risk with, their parents are going to bail them out at some point, the parents being the United States government. So thankfully, we ended up, seeing a little bit of a bailout there. Okay. Now, let's get into no. I want to get into something bigger than that. Oh, I'll just say Mr. Beast is opening up a Beast Land, a theme park in Saudi Arabia, I think. And he said it's due to the large Saudi Arabian audience, which I'm sure is true. He has like 400 million followers, probably all over the world. But it is probably being heavily subsidized as well. So, yeah, I just think it's crazy. This single YouTuber that started on the platform is essentially creating a modern version of Disney. He's creating his own bank, his own restaurant and food businesses and, theme parks. It's just insane. It's one guy. I think he's a year younger than me. I'm pretty sure he's 27. And, yeah, he's got that certain gene in him that just does not want to stop. And he's making all the right calls, at least so far. And I'm not, anyway. JP Morgan, really quickly, ended up having a discussion around Bitcoin. JP Morgan predicts Bitcoin's going to be at 170,000 in the next 6 to 12 months, saying that, it's extremely undervalued versus where the price of gold is today. And that usually they trade in some form of a similar ratio. How crazy is this, though? If you're a company like Coinbase, if you believe that this is true, JP Morgan doesn't need to be right. There's been a lot of analysts who have come on and predicted certain pricing that hasn't come to fruition. We'll see if even Tom Lee is correct about his pricing of 200 to 250,000 for Bitcoin by end of year, or if Ethereum is going to get to $10,000 or $12,000 by end of year. We're running out of time. So a single analyst prediction or their team of analysts doesn't necessarily mean that it comes true. But if you are a Coinbase a Robinhood, a BM&R. You have to be pretty bullish on some of these outlooks if you do think that they're going to come true. Thoughts on Hood? I thought that this earnings was insane, and their commentary around October growth, it's like, I just don't even know how they're finding this much growth constantly. It's incredible. Pope Leo says, hello, my child. I'm sorry if you spoke about this already, but what are your thoughts on Duolingo? Are you a buyer? Will AI disrupt their business? I have not taken a deep look at it just yet. They absolutely got killed. Under $200 a share. Just crazy. And to think that I was thinking about putting in a position, thankfully, I mean, maybe now I might put in a position at a much lower price, but I have not made a decision on that. Not really looked at that. I've been looking at Shift 4, which I also thought was a very successful quarter. There were some, like, they reiterated their midterm guidance, which is, 3 years away, at holding at their most likely outcome of compounding top line growth by 30+%. Very good to see. They did tighten guidance. So they had a low to mid range, and that low range ended up coming up, but the high end of the range ended up tightening as well. So people didn't like that. A lot of companies want to try to beat and raise guidance. They ended up tightening guidance to much, more mid-pack of the range there. But still, I remain a big bullish investor of Shift 4. Shark Ninja ended up having earnings. That was quite surprising that, there was not as many tariff concerns as what people, I think, were originally expecting. It is true, Spicy Brie, that every time I trim this mustache, the market goes down. Crazy. I have no thoughts on UNH. I've got no thoughts on any healthcare companies or anything. I'm fully aware that they're making massive moves today. I do not care. Don't follow it. I want to stay specifically in tech. Okay. Hood is letting kids gamble on their platform, so they're farming money that way. I mean, casinos have been open forever. Like, I don't know. If you feel comfortable going to Las Vegas, and it's the same age that applies to let you go to those places as it is to go and invest in companies that are going to go up. If you were not comfortable with the prediction markets, you probably shouldn't be comfortable with options and zero DTEs and all the other things that Robinhood allowed you to do previously. But speaking of which, let's quickly bring up SoFi stock as the pricing of this company. And by the way, the 10Q did come out. I have all the numbers. I've updated my entire spreadsheet. I'll have a video coming out tomorrow, hopefully around noon or so, talking about everything that we saw. But yeah. That being said, SoFi ended up falling today 9.6%. Slight recovery in after-hour markets, but pretty insane day, dropping all the way down, to close $27.16. If you believe that we are having a weakening job market, which October did not look good. Okay. The Challenger report that ended up coming out ended up seeing 153,000 job cuts and cost savings due to artificial intelligence in October. They said that this was widespread, not just the largest names, but the largest amount of layoffs across like more businesses. Not very good. It's not what you want to see. Here, let me bring up a little slide. Where did it go? This as well. Also sourcing the Challenger report as well. You can see just how large the October layoffs really were. We haven't seen anything like this since around 2003. In October. These are October job cut announcements. But Yeah, so what was I going to highlight? Sorry. If that ends up happening, in my opinion, that raises the chances that we end up seeing some sort of rate cut in December. I think some of the commentary from the Fed, spooked people away from the idea that we're going to see another 25 basis point cut. I'm in the camp that we will still see a 25 basis point cut. And for that, if you're looking exclusively to the names like SoFi, you are going to see many more originations and many more loan platform business announcements. So maybe we'll see some commentary on that on November 11th. We have a SoFi fireside chat with Anthony Noto, so he'll be doing an interview. He's definitely going to talk about the quality of the loans. Like he said, that the new sort of phrase that he's been talking about is a flight to safety. After we saw Upstart's earnings, that became very clear. And I'll give one hint to the 10Q, or just what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Across every single segment, home loans, personal loans, and student loans, FICO scores ended up going up quarter over quarter. Okay? All three segments, FICOs went up. They are not just like a big highlight was that they were expanding their credit box, which they are, but yet still the quality of the loans that they ended up taking out this quarter just improved quarter over quarter. It's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. I think the average FICO score for student loans this quarter was like 773 was the average. Affirm crushed it. Affirm will always. Honestly, I've got a lot of hopes for Affirm and Max Levchin in general. Tanner, do you think there's true upside getting into Hood now, like starting a position on it today? The reason why I continue to hold the company is because I do think that there's a lot of upside. If I thought that, it's going to stay stagnant over the next 5 years, I would not hold it. I would sell it if I thought that it peaked and then, rotate it into something else. Now, whenever it did initially run up to 150, I did have some thoughts about trimming. We talked about it live here. I was like really concerned that Q3 numbers were not going to be as good as they were, but thankfully, they blew away expectations. October, they talked about being another record month with just record engagement, Bitstamps doing well, credit cards are starting to get rolling. Anytime I start to think that the price is getting to where I think is at their execution, they outdo themselves once again. So I'm very much looking forward to continuing to hold Hood and thinking that they're going to outperform the market year after year after year. Okay. I don't understand why everyone is investing like they need the money next week. It's supposed to be long-term. No, completely agree. Completely agree. Whenever I bought this house, I pulled out money to, pay for the down payment on the house. But aside from that, I rarely ever touch my accounts. So for the most part, if I haven't needed the money or needed the money once in the last 10 years, let it compound. Just let us know if you need help with the time machine. Can we comment NVIDIA long term? Do you want my comments on NVIDIA long term, or can you comment on it? You can always comment it. But overall, I obviously think NVIDIA is going to do very well long term. I think they are creating, legitimately creating the computers of the future. And just the way that it works is that those chips are only going to last roughly 4 or 5 years. So every 4 or 5 years, there's going to be essentially a cycle where the old chips are going to go out and the new chips are going to need to replace them, even if they're at the same level of performance. Okay. But yeah. Covered calls gave me money this week. Oh yeah. Oh yes. On red days like today, you get paid almost immediately on those covered calls. You can close them out for, 80% of 90% of what you already would have made. It's pretty easy. I have no comments on either of these names. The shallow depth of field of your camera hurts the eyes. It's on my face, brother. How about that? Is that better? Sorry. Okay. I'm going to keep it there. I want it nice and each and every day that the red market comes in, you guys can slowly see my hair getting thinner and thinner until we can sort of see a projection through the rest of my scalp. Back away from your device. No. What I like to do is in my perfect frame of view, I have nothing but monitors. So by the time I'm 60, I'll have, truly bubbles like glasses and no ability to read. And the font is going to be at 250%. I've got my whole life planned out ahead of me. It's not going to be stopped by a single comment. Tanner, what about the big short of NVIDIA and Palantir by Michael Burry? I don't care what Michael Burry's doing. Okay, the dude calls a bubble and makes these shorts constantly. He's made one that was right, and people make him out to be an oracle. Dude manages like $100 million a year, or for the entire fund. I don't know what the exact size is. Maybe I undercut him a little bit, but like people make him out to be like Warren Buffett. Yeah, bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Someone asked me about comments for Nebius, and I don't have too many. But what I will say is that Dylan Patel ended up posting his ClusterMax 2.0, sort of rankings on all of the Neoclouds and what's the hyperscalers that are providing cloud services. And take a look at this. So he ended up putting, where is it? By the way, this is the standard. This is the standard in the industry. There's really no one else that people quote right now. And he ranked them in terms of their overall performance. And CoreWeave, just like the first ClusterMax rating, probably 3 or 6 months ago, I forget when it was. CoreWeave was the only platinum name. Gold, I knew that Nebius was in there and Azure. I don't know if Oracle was in there, and I don't know if FluidStack was there. I could be wrong on that. But in silver, I actually think Google Cloud has gone up from bronze to silver in this ranking. And AWS, I think, was in silver before. The interesting part that people will notice, because it's common names that retail investors like, is Iris Energy, IREN, is right there in not recommended and in the underperform category. Now, they actually stated what can put you in the underperforming or not recommended platform. And it doesn't mean that it's the worst, but there's a few things that can happen. One, they don't have access to the best chips. Two, they have terrible business practices in the way that they charge their customers. Or I forget the third one. Let's see. The underperform. Based on hands-on testing, we believe that these providers in this category can quickly rise to bronze or even silver if they fix one or more critical issues. Examples of critical failures include, but not limited to, no modern GPUs, security. I always freaking hate this word. A testament. You know what? We're going to move on. I always hate that word. mistakenly disabling key server features, or conducting offensive business practices, such as charging users for GPU hours while the cluster is being created or while servers are down due to hardware failure. For Iren, I don't know if they talked about it. Iren is one of the most aggressive crypto mining companies trying to convert their facilities into neoclouds, unlike their competitors such as TerraWolf, Core Scientific, or Cypher Mining, which all realize significant value from their existing investments by pursuing the PowerShell data center infrastructure business. Iren is intent on doing things the hard way and building a neocloud all by themselves with no relevant experience on their team, now with only 100K GPUs committed for current and future customers. Maybe this is not for reading right now, but it is well known within the industry that Iren offers well below market rate prices compared to providers in silver, gold, or platinum tiers. This is also what I've heard. I read that the deal with Microsoft gave them something like a 3% margin or something. It was quite interesting. Inferior service quality relative to market average. Anyways, semi-analysis is the gold standard for these types of things. You guys can read into that if you want, but very easy to find online. Just type in ClusterMax 2.0. You'll find the entire report. Mary says, you are the man, F all the haters. Do I even have a lot of haters? I think I've had to deal with like one online. Maybe I do. Maybe I shouldn't bring that upon myself. I'd like to think, honestly, I'm friends with like 99.9% of you guys. Tanner, what are your thoughts on BM&R? It's super cheap at the moment. Yeah, no, I agree. It's not cheap. It's relative to where Ethereum is. Okay. And in that case, like, of course it's going to be dropping if Ethereum's price is dropping. So the people who are buying Ethereum should have an even higher, stomach for volatility than those that are buying Ethereum. So if you weren't buying Ethereum to begin with, and you're walking into BM&R thinking it's going to, sort of play like the regular stocks that you're working with, which maybe is NVIDIA and SoFi and all of these names, I mean, you'd have to give your head a shake, Would you rather buy Duolingo or Boeing? I would have to say Duolingo. I know nothing about Boeing, and Duolingo, due to just being a technology business, has those very, very high-end margins that I would love to invest in. And especially after this large haircut, most of the times, especially in a market like this, people overreact on bad news and give companies, not the benefit of the doubt, but like, I don't know, what's the saying for opposite of benefit of the doubt? Tanner, why do you have so many haters in chat? Also, what are these hater questions? Who is even saying? I haven't even seen any comments. I got to go up or something. We love Tanner. Am I 6'4"? I'm not 6'4". I actually don't really even see any. Why are you yelling? That's not a mean comment. All right. Hate day was yesterday. Okay. Boeing is a value play. Duolingo is on a road to failure. I mean, that's your opinion. We'll see. I don't think that what we saw from those earnings, even just the slight insight that I saw, like them growing at, 38 or 34% year over year, is signs of a dying business. They're growing faster than like almost any company that you can even name. Like if it was at 38%, here, let me just check. If that was at 38%, that's growing faster than SoFi. You know? I definitely understand hating me for my reading abilities. I won't even try anymore. I've got nothing against Iren at all. I just thought that that was interesting of where Dylan Patel ended up ranking them. Overall, I don't play favorites, and all of them are buying NVIDIA GPUs, so I love them all. Which site shows if and when Tom Lee buys more Ethereum? The BMNR website. They say every week, Monday morning, that they have purchased more Ethereum. What exactly happens during a margin call? Asking for a friend? Well, I don't play in margin. My opinion is you get an email saying that they have sold your shares to close out the loan that you have. Yeah. So you're siding against Nebius? No. Did BMNR slow down to buy ETH? Are they buying? What do you mean? Like they're buying ETH less? Well, whenever they have a lower MNAV premium, which is what we're seeing right now, that I'm not, or they slow down on their ability just because they can't raise at the same, levels that they have. Okay. Any thoughts on SoundHound? I think that's what you wanted to say. I did end up watching the SoundHound live stream or their earnings call. It's not a name for me just yet. I would love to love this name. I would love to. A tiny $5 billion agentic AI play that is, tackling one of the largest total addressable markets that's going to go forward. I mean, I love that idea. I also see Paul saying patents. Even the analysts on the call even said it. Are you seeing, competition getting started? Because they're all expecting it from the OpenAIs and the Googles of the world who are going to be able to create products that try to tackle similar things. Now, usually the companies that are full focused on that specific solution end up creating a product that's usually better than the large conglomerate that tries semi-entering into that market. Think Spotify versus Apple Music, or I don't know, a fitness app versus Apple fitness products. Usually the ones that focus on it do a much better job. Still, though, SoundHound, the stock-based compensation is unreal. The dilution is insane. The margins are not improving enough. Like we went from 70+% margins down to 38, and now they're going from 38 up to 42. I want gross margins back up at 70 plus. I don't know if we get there. I'm not sure. So I'm not saying that it's a bad company. It's just I can't see it. I would not put the chance of a rumor of a big bank buying SoFi at 0%. I would definitely put it higher than that. We just saw Best Egg get acquired, which is a direct SoFi competitor. And we've also seen Discover Financial Services get acquired in the exact same year. So the big banks securing their positions by buying smaller fintech names has happened multiple times, especially in the personal loan segment, which is Discover and Best Egg. So that's really interesting. But if they buy it, it has to be of a price that Anthony Noto deems is what SoFi is worth. And I don't think he's going to take anything less than $60 a share, So is it that bad if, tomorrow they go, hey, here's your, obviously it wouldn't happen this quickly, but hey, we're going to close out your SoFi for $60 tomorrow. You don't have to wait and enjoy. I'd be like, great. Or we're getting shares of a bigger bank. But I would say, okay, cool. I'll take this $60. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And I'll invest it in other companies that I'm looking at. And then hope that those ones get bought out and the cycle continues. He might take 45 as long as it pays for his RSUs. So it's performance-based stock units, so not RSUs, but PSUs. And I don't honestly think he cares that much about it. You haven't seen him change his business practice to try to make sure that these vest in some sort of way. They're not, lowering their capital ratios or taking additional risk to spike up growth. He's just sort of growing the business the way he would every single day. Thoughts on Meta going up $50 by end of year? I could definitely see it. I think it's worth, a lot more than that today. I thought I was getting cheap SoFi shares at 29. Yeah, 27. It's just insane. MassX, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. Really do appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. The dumping will continue until the shutdown is lifted. That might end up happening. But yeah, I think people are really starting to worry that certain facilities, especially like airlines, FAA said that they're going to be slowing down the amount of new flights in 40 different airports, I think by 4%, but they are going to potentially raise that up to 10%. Cut in flights in the 40 most popular airports in the United States. It's definitely not good. It's not what you want to see. You don't want to see people not be able to get paid. If any of those people are holders of loans, like SoFi, for example, that would not be good. That could increase defaults, Would you have taken 25 6 months ago? I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and see what my headspace would have been back then. But also, during that period, I would have invested in other things that, it's not that SoFi specifically has done really well this year. I mean, it has. It definitely has beat the market. But there's been other names that I've been a part of that have also done very well. Like NVIDIA being one of them, Hood being another. So it depends on, where I was. If I also thought that Hood was also climbing during that time, I mean, it probably would have been beneficial for me to have taken immediate doubled gains and then thrown it into another stock. Now, I can't even remember what it was exactly 6 months ago, so I don't know if that's the right play. But if you're suggesting, like I think you were, that would have been a double, yeah, who knows? It's hard to ever turn down a double, in any of my stocks that looks good. Shift4 doing a $1 billion buyback. Did you think that it was weird that in the same time that they did a $1 billion buyback, they didn't buy back any stock this quarter? Is it just me? It's the lowest we've ever seen. That's not even remotely true. It's the lowest we've ever seen the stock in the last little bit. I was going to say lowest we've ever seen the stock. They announced a $1 billion buyback plan. This company, what's the market cap on this business? It's less than a $6 billion company. They authorized a $1 billion buyback plan. Okay. And they still held up their 3-year 30% compounding annual growth rate expectations. So I don't know, man. But they didn't do any buybacks this quarter. Do you think that the hyperscalers developing their own internal chips is bearish NVIDIA? No. As Jensen has said multiple times, I mean, theoretically it's bearish, but I don't actually think it is. All of these companies are trying to get, Hopper equivalent chips, Blackwell equivalent chips, and by the time that they end up getting there, we're not going to be on the Blackwell architecture anymore. We're going to be on Vera Rubin or Vera Feynman. So a lot of these projects end up getting scrapped because they end up just not working very well. So, yeah, I remain still very bullish on NVIDIA until I see real concrete evidence that people are taking other chips aside from NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is not losing market share right now. Thoughts on dLocal? You're so right. Honestly, this company is also getting very cheap. No one's paying attention to this. And I saw this today. Look at this freaking price of this company lately. You know? Oh wait, not that far out. We ended up seeing a dip all the way to $13+. So if we look in the last 3 months, we had gone from $10 up to $16, down to $12.50, up to $16.87, and now we're heading back down into low 13s again. It's crazy, but overall, the business continues to grow. That's another one that I'm very happy with. Google getting serious with their TPU business, 100%. And I think that I'm not saying that there's not real names like Google with Ironwood, but I'm a very big believer in Google. I'm holding the company. I'll want to position myself where those chips are being designed as well. And then this is also why I also talked about owning TSM as well, is like, how do you play both? You know, how do I play taking advantage of some of these ASICs and, you know, NVIDIA as well? TA with Tanner, I pull up one chart. Tanner, 2 questions. Did you buy anything this week? Do you own HBAR? No, I do not own HBAR. I've purchased a few things this week. You know, Axon and Meta, Reddit. What else? There's been a few things. I'm sure some people can fill in some of those gaps. Chime. Yeah. Did you see Take-Two After Hours? Yes, I did. You guys want to know what happened to Take-Two? One thing. Grand Theft Auto 6 will release on Thursday, November 19th. It was supposed to release in May. Here's the great thing that I heard. So they pushed it back 6 months. Okay. I heard this very, very, well, I was going to say very famous person that said, now I don't even remember who it was. Jeez. This is a famous quote, though. Someone will tell me what this quote was. But they said, if you delay something and then eventually release it and it's perfect, everyone will forgive you for the delay. But if you release something early and it's terrible, no one will ever forgive you. Someone tell me who that was. But it's true. GTA 5 was heavily, heavily delayed. No one cares because the game was great whenever it was released. Servers were down a little bit early on. I remember that as well. But no one cares. So in the grand scheme of things, this is not going to change much. But yeah. There will be the Zelda creator. Someone's saying the Zelda creator. That could be true. Shioguro Miyamoto. Shioguro Miyamoto. That guy. Okay. When Gemini 3 comes out, we can create our own GTA 6. Yeah, probably not. Is that a metal slime in the background? Metal slime? What does that even mean? This? Okay. All right. Let's move on to some more news. So, like I said, tomorrow we're going to have the 10Q for SoFi. I won't suggest whether it was good or bad, but it was freaking good. And then there was also this news. Google Finance. Google today announced a couple of partnerships with prediction markets companies, including Kalshi, and he didn't end up putting in this, but the other couple of partnerships was also Polymarket to add prediction markets to Google Finance. So you'll be able to check live time what some of those predictions are, similar with checking the price of a stock on Google Finance. It's getting real, man. I don't think Tanner knows about DQ. What's that? DQ to means disqualified or Dairy Queen. Dragon Quest. Yeah, definitely not. Whenever I was younger, I played like old school RuneScape for sure. A lot of Smash Bros. The usual games like COD and Halo and stuff like that. But yeah, I play absolutely nothing anymore. No Final Fantasy, nothing like this. I don't play any of that. Okay. When does Meta announce that they are spending? When does Meta announce what they're spending all their money on? What does that even mean? We know what they're spending their money on. They're setting up large data centers. That's going to be just across the entire business. So they said that they wanted to eventually get their AI models to almost be able to create like a mid-level engineer to help with coding. Like essentially what they'd hope for is like 99% of the code that gets put into future projects. But yeah. They're also spending all their money on taxes. That's such a good answer. Yeah. I mean, you're right. Debate emit on this. What does that even mean? On Meta? That is the exciting part and why I'll always be a little bit more bullish on Meta than maybe others is like, let's imagine that they do end up capping out on users and capping out on average revenue per user. Do you think that Zuckerberg at 40 or 42 or however old he is does not start getting into other businesses? Obviously, they do B2B with advertising and stuff like this and setting up Meta suites, stuff like that. But getting into cloud businesses and all, like, they won't stop if they'll continue to try new things if they're not growing. So I think a bet on Meta is a very, very long-term one, multi-decade of always focusing on the future. And he's working on the next new glasses. And honestly, you can laugh at that. I think it's going to be huge. But maybe that's just because I also wear glasses. But can you imagine the advantage that I'm going to have being able to see my texts when my Uber's arriving, all of these things directly in my eye? That's going to be very advantageous. As long as it doesn't cause some sort of, eyesight retina problem, something like this. I don't know. Hi, Tanner. What are your thoughts on Netflix's stock split? I mean, it's positive. Stock splits have never been a bad thing. it will likely put some buying pressure on the stock. But I don't follow Netflix maybe as closely as I should. Big fan of YouTube, and I do not use Netflix very often. Meta's trying to do Apple, nothing good about it. I mean, for many years, Apple was the largest and most profitable company in the world. I think there's some benefit to that, and they're partnering with the companies that actually, manufacture the glasses. All of those things, as they get better or as they age in the hardware game, they're going to do exactly what Apple did. Apple partnered with a bunch of companies. Then, as they needed to improve margins, they eventually took on those solutions themselves. They kick out a lot of the third-party companies, get rid of Intel, and make their own custom silicon. And over and over and over, they end up increasing their margins by doing stuff more in-house and more vertically integrated. It'll be a long time till that happens, but that's on the roadmap. There will be no Timmy Cook slander here, says Steve with the $20. You're absolutely correct, Steve. As you've donated and I've become a Apple shareholder, there's no more slander. And also the recent quarters that they've put up were good. So, yeah. Is crypto winter real? I think it's definitely real for things like Bitcoin. I don't know how real it's going to be for Ethereum. Now, it is being brought down right now, but that could be short-term sell-offs. We'll have to see. Tom Lee said that crypto led equities, and then they started to shrink. And then he said, crypto's behind equities. No, maybe it was always ahead. And now we're seeing equities follow what crypto had seen. Tanner's becoming an Apple bag holder. Okay. Apple is basically a hedge against the bear market. They have become like a real point of safety for a lot of investors. It's actually insane the multiple still to this day that Apple commands. They're almost getting like a multiple the way that Costco gets a multiple, because people go, at the end of the day, you're just going to upgrade. Look at this comment. It's interesting to see Coinbase becoming like a real company. That's so much slander on Brian Armstrong here. There was a report from him today. Let's see. Report. I always say the word report. I just meant update. Coinbase, Brian Armstrong said, trading hours and markets that close are outdated. Tokenized assets will be better for everyone, with instant settlement and 24/7 availability. Brian, you couldn't be more right. You're a gosh dang genius. Look at him. Mr. Cleaning up that balance sheet and making sure investors end up making some profits one day. They IPO'd pretty high, but he'll get there. Sorry to the bald community for the Mr. Clean jokes. I can't help myself. I don't mind 7 days a week trading, but I kind of thought that markets close overnight. Not anymore. Thanks, Bree. Appreciate you. Okay. Will SoFi recover? No, actually, it's only down from here. No, man, the business is growing. Like, This is why I focus fundamentally. Hood is going to be a bigger business over time. SoFi is going to be a bigger business over time. Most of the companies, like obviously things can turn sour, and the markets are trying to predict whenever that happens. But everything I'm seeing, all the big tech names, everything is just putting up constant growth, margin improvements. You know, even Meta, where like free cash flow increased quarter over quarter while spending the most they ever have on chips. It's just incredible. I don't know. It's like I just can't be bullish here. Could Chime steal market share from SoFi if they begin to target high-end customers and beat them to the business accounts? I mean, anything is possible. But I don't think it's that easy. And there's a reason that SoFi has won in the beginning. Like, oh, what if big banks just offer the rates that SoFi does? Wouldn't it kill them? You know, it's not very easy. Okay. But if everything exceeds and no one is buying, isn't that a little worrying? Not at all. Markets are very long term and like here. Look. Like for real, and I mean this with everything. People think that I'm lying or like that I'm actually panicking. I'm not at all. Look at the panic here. This is 1 year. Mouse, you've lived a lot of years. I don't know how old you are, but you've lived a lot of years. Okay. This is 1 year. We saw a massive dip. Then we ended up finding new highs. We ended up pushing the NASDAQ to 24,000. And now we've fallen a little bit to 23,000. If we go out 5 years, look at the dip that we're seeing that everyone's panicking about. Look at some of the dips that we've seen before. Huge, huge. But even if those happen, even if this is what we're getting into, at the end, we go higher, ladies and gentlemen. I know that's not what you want to hear. You want to sell at the top and you want to buy in cheaper. It's hard for the best investors in the world to do that, let alone my dumb self. I don't know how to do that. So I buy and I make sure that the companies that I'm buying are good and I hold. And I promise you, there's a lot of money, fortunes to be made by doing that alone without even having to time the market. Breaking: United States to block scaled down AI chips shipments to China. Let's see. Not like they were buying it all anyways. There's a 0% market share. I am also reading the same thing. That's from the information. U.S. to block scaled down AI chip shipments to China. Great. Lovely. I'm happy they just signed a trade agreement. Nice handshake with Xi. And then what has happened? Jeez. What were your favorite Smash Bros. Characters? Now we're getting into the good stuff. I played a lot of heavies, which normally do not do very well, but always brawler characters or heavy characters, midweight, never light. Favorite ones? I don't know. I've got a couple of names, but I don't want to get too nerdy here. Okay, you said it. It is literally my favorite character. He's the heaviest character in the game, and those side Bs, man, you control the battlefield. I love it. Big fan. Only Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, nothing else. So not like mixed martial arts. I don't want to punch or get punched or anything like this. But yeah. King K rule sucks. Okay. Yoshi or nothing. I also love about Smash Brothers, everyone has played at some point or another. Unless you're like, much older. Even older, like a generation older than, like, let's say, what is millennials tap out at? What's the oldest age of millennial? Is it 40, 38, something like that? Tanner, SoFi website traffic is out on SimilarWeb. Okay, I have 2 SoFi videos coming out tomorrow. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys want to see it in live time? I can still make a video about it later. We can check this out. Gen X nurse saying, you calling us old? It's in the name. Gen X is 42? Oh, no, I didn't know that. I thought Gen X was older than that. I'm 51, never played Smash Bros. That makes sense. I'm 45 and have played Smash Bros at parties and such. First game was before 2000. Now, I played them all. I've played Smash 64, Melee, Brawl, the DS one, the one for Wii U, and then Smash Ultimate. I've played them all. But, yeah. Anyway, let's check out SimilarWeb. Oh, you guys are going to love this. Oh, my freaking lordy. Do you guys want to guess that it's a brand new record? Because you'd be right. Highest amount. Oh, that's looking good. Hold on. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll leave that for the video. I'll show you guys the monthly numbers, and then we will I'll show you guys the other stuff tomorrow. SoFi's website traffic hit 23.9 million in October of 2025. This was a 14% increase, over 14% increase month over month. Canadian war cry. That is so funny. And look at the daily the daily averages here. So I don't have any of the other ones plugged here, but 800,000 daily visitors. Look at how we've gone just over the last like last year, October of 2024, 530,000 daily visitors. Is that right? 530? Yeah. Look at that. Such a nerd. Why? Because my Smash Bros commentary or the website traffic. I understand both. Honestly, you're correct on both accounts. Okay. I've never claimed to be cool or anything. I'm just a freak in the spreadsheets. That's it. Okay. Let's oh my God. Robinhood's numbers. I'll tell you guys, there's a reason why they said this is the highest traffic they've ever seen. Okay. Do you guys want to see them one by one, or should I just start plugging them all? What I need to do, this is what a good streamer would do. I'd put on a video for you guys, and then 2 minutes later, I would have, the video's done. But I don't really have a video ready. It's a true shame. There's nothing I really wanted to show you guys. Okay, I'll just show you guys Hood's website traffic. Look at this. Boom. 48.1 million, increase roughly about 15%, similar to SoFi. October was a massive month for both of them. Jeez. Somebody on X send me a good video, like an Elon video or something. I didn't get to see all of the thing. Please, I need some help here. I want to check through all of these. I heard from a little birdie that Chimes is also going to be high. So let me just check. Last one, not as cool, up 7.5%. The SoFi and highest daily volume, still big increase, but not quite the same as what we're seeing from Chime and SoFi. That is huge. Not a video of him dancing on stage. Like I heard something about him saying thank you to Waymo. I thought I saved that in my list of topics to talk about. I thought that was quite interesting, but yeah. Trump said Eli Lilly is to invest $27 billion in Novo Nordisk to invest $10 billion in the United States. NVIDIA crashing hard. Not really. I mean, down 0.6%. But remember, this is the biggest company in the world. 186. Gosh, man, these freaking reports come out. You want solar satellite and a terafab for chips? Well, send me a link of him saying that, and then I'll play it, and I'll have all the website traffic done for you guys by the end. Look at this sell-off. It's still happening. It's still freaking happening. What's the chances that Upstart has put up any good numbers? Up 5% month over month. So far, the worst out of the fintechs that we've seen, but still green. I mean, you can't fault green. Bitmine up a little bit in after hours. D-Local, Shift4, all up. Never mind, I've just checked Allies month over month. They are now taking the cake for the worst numbers so far. Not even a record for them, only up 3%. But, you know, did we not expect it? Also, JFrog up 26% on earnings. Okay. Let's check something really quick. Where's NVIDIA? Down 0.6%. Enzo, if you don't already own SoFi, would you invest in them at this current price? I'm not your financial advisor. Very hard for me to say that. Do I think that this is a opportune time? Yes, potentially. Lower my position. I already have a very sizable position in SoFi as it is. Let's listen to Elon really quick so I can plug some numbers, and I want to hear this as well.
I'm hopeful that we can, within less than a year of AI 5 starting production, we can actually transition in the same fab to AI 6 and double all of the performance metrics. So, I'm super hardcore on chips right now, as you may be able to tell. I have chips on the brain. I dream about chips, literally. I can draw the you know, at least the broad brushstroke physical design of the AI 5 chip by heart at this point. It's a good chip. It's a good chip, sir. So this is really key. Now, one of the things I'm trying to figure out is how do we make enough chips? You know, I have a lot of respect for the Tesla partners, TSMC and Samsung. Yeah, you know, maybe we'll do something with Intel. We haven't signed any deal, but it's probably worth having discussions with Intel. Even when we extrapolate the best case scenario for chip production from our suppliers, it's still not enough. So I think we may have to do a Tesla terafab. So it's like Giga, but way bigger. I can't see any other way to get to the volume of chips that we're looking for. So I think we're probably going to have to build a gigantic chip fab. Yeah.
Okay. That bought me enough time. That's also very interesting as well. Okay. NVIDIA starting to recover ever so slightly, down 0.3% now in after hours alone. Let's also take a look at these numbers. Guys, I kind of spoiled the two best already. SoFi and Robinhood just completely took the cake here. Robinhood actually, I think, just eked it out just slightly on a month-over-month performance. But anywho, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these other names. Cash App actually ended up seeing quite a large improvement here. For the longest time, they were not putting up good numbers and actually decreasing quite a lot. This is not their highest performance, not even year over year was much stronger, but 11% increase month over month, finally starting to see some changes. Good for them. Nubank did not really see much of any change at all. I think it was like up 3% or something, maybe less than that. So nothing to see there. PayPal also seeing about a 3% increase, nothing crazy, but Venmo ended up seeing a massive increase, roughly about 13%, I think. I forget the exact number off the top of my head, but yeah, this one, very big bump up, pretty cool on Venmo. Coinbase, about 9% or something, I forget off the top of my head, maybe it was 11%. Upstart, slight increase as well. Chime, slight increase in October. Lending Club, slight increase. So overall, very exciting. But honestly, the big names was SoFi and Robinhood. Now, I'm going to actually pull the year over year and month over month statistics. Maybe I should do year over year, month over month, and quarter over quarter and build all that out for you guys as well. And then I can show you how they've been performing. Do I own IREN or Cypher? No. But I own NVIDIA. But still, by far, like SoFi saw a big jump up and Robinhood saw a big jump up. Coinbase also did decently well. NVIDIA almost about to be green again. Sort of swallowed that news of U.S. banning chips to China again. Downsized chips to China not being something that is going to, make the company improve. We end up seeing ARK Invest actually posting their trades. There was an article that came out today saying that Cathie Wood was selling BM&R. It's actually not what I'm seeing. ARK F ended up buying 25,000 or 24.8 thousand shares of BM&R. Did not see any trimming across any other portfolio. In fact, they actually added 167,000 shares in RK and 48,300 shares in ARK W. So she went on a buying spree, essentially buying over 200,000 BM&R chips, 220,000. Yeah. Little bit of FUD. In fact, it was actually quite the opposite. It was bullish. Caleb Pitts says, Shift 4 valuation seems ridiculous. What is the driver for it being down so much this year? A little bit of underperformance, missing earnings multiple times, but very slightly. Expectations. Like, here's the thing. SoFi does not give their expectation of earnings. I honestly can truly say that. They manipulate it in a way to say, hey, we're going to do this much, knowing full well that they're going to beat it every time. Many, many, many companies do that. Okay. Shift 4 honestly says, we're going to hit this target. And so sometimes they're above, sometimes they're not, but honestly, most of the time they're very close because they never try to be conservative with their earnings. So it leads them to have mixed results. People don't like that. They could just be a little bit more conservative, but it's not in their wheelhouse. There's also strong competitors like Toast, for example, that people think are going to eat Shift4's lunch in the restaurant game and then eventually in other spaces as well. They're definitely strong. And then there was the Fiserv news, which just essentially said that they had very hard times in that very similar market that Shift4 was in. The acquisition strategy was not working out well. In fact, Shift4 even added an extra slide on their earnings to say, hey, like, not only are we doing okay and that our M&A is doing well, we'll show another slide just for our own organic growth. And that they actually grew a sizable amount just on their organic growth. I think it was 19% or something, which was quite exciting. Taylor Lauber's interview is needed. MD says the whole community would love it. I think the whole community doesn't even know what Shift4 does, let alone who Taylor Lauber is. But you're right. I do want to interview him, but also I don't think anyone would care. It's also why I didn't even go live this morning. I looked back on last earnings whenever I covered them, and it was like 1,000 people total ended up seeing it. We had like 98 people watching, and still 98 people, but clearly you guys don't want to see it. So yeah. Did you see OpenAI's new logo design? OpenAI's new logo design. I'm not seeing that. No. Am I being punked? No. And on their app, it still shows the same logo. Okay. You punked me? Anyway. I remember when you had 50 to 80 people in the stream. 98 is a lot. Yes, and I still have to sort of picture 98 people in a room. It's a ton. Fully aware of that. But I could also be working on a video that, potentially if 30,000 people want to see it, it's like, where can I put my effort for the most of the audience for me to, or that you guys would enjoy? So it's not that I'm trying to downplay those 98 people, but it's not like I have unlimited time in the day. So I'm trying to make as many of you guys happy or informed or whatever you want to call it. If there's certain things that you guys want me to touch on that I have an opinion on, that's definitely where my time needs to be spent. But yeah. Shift4 sells keyboards. Yep. No. Okay. Isn't it going to be weird that the bots of the future are just going to be commenting live in chat and we'll have no idea that they're real or not? And I wonder how apparent they're going to be that like advertising dollars and like the impressions per 1,000 views is just going to skyrocket lower because half the people aren't clicking through because they're bots. I'm pretty sure I read something recently that said like the majority of traffic on the internet already is not humans. But yeah. You bring people to the company over time. I honestly don't think that's true. I've thought that was true in the past, but like if I talk about a new name, honestly, I don't think people care about me as much as they care about my coverage of the stock that they care about. Because I've tried talking about names that I care about, and it doesn't work. You only need gold. I think you need a pimp necklace. No. No gold. No physical property at all. Or like material luxuries, I guess. talk about Grab. I don't have an opinion on Grab, other than that the quarter was mid. Your opinion on Chime got us to buy. I'm not telling anyone to buy Chime. Also, the earnings were decent. I'm not going to stay in that name, forever. I think it's clear that SoFi is pulling away. They're proving that they can grow at scale, and they continue to do so. And they have so many just addressable market opportunities for them to go after. Financial services is an unending game. My dog wants out now. Here, one sec. Okay. What was I saying? Let's see. Chime analysis was good, thank you. Tanner shocking his dog off screen. I'm not that kind of streamer. And I don't care to train my dog all that much to have anything like that. No, that's a Hassan joke. I don't know if everyone knows who that is, but do I think what's a good buy right now? What company that you talk about gets you the most views? At this point, probably SoFi. I've cultivated quite the SoFi audience. Yeah. I think it has to be SoFi. But also, I think I have a lot to offer the SoFi community. That's another thing that I found, like, especially on NVIDIA. Like, I have strong opinions on NVIDIA, but even the technical stuff, like the actual chip aspects and understanding, like, I'm not an engineer. I don't know half of that. I have to read the reports for someone else to tell me that CoreWeave is the number one Neocloud in the space. And, Dylan Patel in the space and the research that he does, he demands a lot of authority in that space. So I trust his opinion. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not, I don't have a lot to offer certain names, but on SoFi, it's such an easy name to understand. It's really easy. The SoFi Whisperer. Let's see. When will the crypto capitalization stop? I have no clue. Is Tom Lee cooked with BM&R? No, I think BM&R is going to do fine. $9 million worth of BM&R? Jeez. No Oreos today, no. My wife gave me a Celsius. This stuff sucks. You have to remember that it is a healthier version of maybe what you might be comparing it to. I don't think that it's a taste match to a 35 gram sugar monster or something like this. Like, it's not going to compare. But I think the energy actually derives from, is it green tea extract? They have no sugar in it. Yeah. Sugar makes a big difference. It sure does. Okay. Vlad said yesterday tokenization is going to be huge in the future, so ETH L2 will grow, same as BM&R. Diamond, I think that's a great point. And also, Vlad, who has been extremely on point with the where finance is going in general, he is building the Robinhood chain, their own L2, on Ethereum directly. Where's Dookie Pie? She was in the chat during the live stream earlier. I recently bought some Alani in Canada, and it was nothing like the US Alani, way less caffeine, and it had no flavor. Thought it was interesting. Well, we have a limit on the amount of caffeine that you can have in drinks here in Canada, so I'm pretty sure the Alani's, Celsius's, all those drinks have 200 milligrams of caffeine in America. In Canada, there's a cap at 180, but I don't know why those companies didn't meet that cap at 180, because the difference would only been like a 10% cut. But instead, I think they're 140. The Celsius, Alani, all those drinks are at 140 milligrams of caffeine. So it's definitely a much less bitter taste, because caffeine does have a very bitter taste. So less bitter, and I think less things to sort of fill that gap. You're saying 250 milligrams, but honestly, I don't even believe you. I'm pretty headstrong on the idea that it's 200. Yes, ours are 200. These were 140. Yeah. I just bought caffeine pills and downed one with an Alani. Jeez. NVIDIA, Meta, Pin, Celsius, all on sale, you fools. Okay. That's why you drink 4. Yeah. If you drink 5, you get to that prime, like the peak alpha number of 1,000 milligrams of caffeine. Then you're working on the good stuff. Then you're actually going to get something done. Does Galileo have Wells Fargo as a customer? Not that we know of. Nothing to suggest that right now. If you drink 10, you get to leave the matrix. I mean, to some degree, you can drink a certain amount and you will leave the matrix. It's just, yeah. I don't know what's the human limit on caffeine? What's the my financial advisor is also my nutritionist. I'm definitely not a nutritionist at all. Today after 1:30 p.m., I ran Bitcoin mining data center beat earnings to... What are you even saying? Someone kick the Weedcoin guy. Spamming. Okay. Okay. The human limit on... Okay. What'd you say? I think doctors advise less than 600 milligrams a day. Yeah, but you can... I'm actually going to stop. I was going to say, you could do more. I'm sure it's not healthy to do more, but like, don't some people have like 14 cups of coffee a day? Like, I'm pretty sure like some people do that. I'm not saying it's advisable. But what's the what's the lethal oh, I forget that saying. I'm out of school too long. Anyway. N50. Yeah. LD50. Yeah, what is that for caffeine? I love how you guys knew exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, lethal dose, right? If it affects what is it, like 50%? Man, I've been out too long. if you, it would affect 50% or the average person this much. Lethal doses of caffeine have been reported at blood concentrations of 80 to 100. They can result from ingesting approximately 10 grams or more. Grams. Not milligrams, grams. Yeah, LD50 is the lethal dose to kill 50%. Yeah, okay. Canada has schools? Apparently not. I don't remember anything. Um, 50% of people who take 10 grams of caffeine leave the matrix. Okay. Yeah. 10,000 milligrams. It's a lot of coffee. This guy, dude. I don't have an opinion on Amcor. Leave me alone. I see your guys' comments. Some people don't have good comments. Okay. Why are Canadians so dumb? I won't read the rest of your comment, but you summed it up right there. Why are Canadians so dumb? Tantrum Tanner. You come out to help with my tantrum, try to calm me down. You don't say, hey, have a sip of water, take a breath. You call me Tantrum Tanner. You guys use the nicknames against me. Okay. Why our Tanner is. Okay. All right. Who are you guys playing in Smash Bros? Let's see what else we have on the docket while I review your answers. Also, I am very excited. I'm not a shareholder of Tesla, but I am very, very excited for the future that they're building. I can't wait to ride in a cybercab. Have not done that yet. I have ridden. I've taken a Waymo. Shy guy. Ridley, that's an insane pick. This guy plays browser. This guy's on Google Chrome talking to me about Smash Bros. A lot of Kirby. What the? I don't even get it. It's like a super mid-tier character. Okay. Let's see. Kathy Wood, lots of BMNR purchases. We said that. Oh my freaking gosh. She bought something like, what is this? 20 million? Wait, 20 something $1 million of Archer Aviation today? Archer, huge purchase. Tempest AI, CRISPR. No, she bought even more. It's in other funds. She bought 150,000, 650,000. She bought 3 million shares of Archer Aviation. Lincoln Samus is a man of culture right here. Now we're talking. A little Ganondorf player. I play a lot of Ganondorf, but I think it's like legitimately, if you're to look at a tier list of Smash Bros. Players, like on the freaking bottom. Byleth. Okay, I unsubbed. Hero. These are all some people who remember Smash Bros. Have never heard of Byleth or Hero or any of these characters. Those are all new characters. Steve is a character. Snake. Duck Hunt. Oh, we got some real Smash Bros. Players in here. That's so funny. I have not played in a long time, probably over 2 years, or longer than that actually, because Steve didn't even come out, or any of those characters. Like, when did Steve come out? I didn't even play anywhere around then. It's probably been closer to like 4 years since I've even picked up the game. Lil Mac, you're lying. Smash Bros. Players smell bad. I mean, that's probably true. Fox or Ness. Oh, this is great. I love the amount of answers I'm seeing right now. This is going to be hard for me too. As I stream and get older, my average age of my audience, which I think right now is between 35 to 45, somewhere in there. Obviously, I'm going to get older, and there's going to be a lot newer investors that come in, and people are going to start calling me Unk. And I don't know how I feel about that. That's insanity. Don't call me Unk. Paul said, I'm out. Have fun. Too much. Too many Gen Alpha things just happened. I'm not old. I'm not old. I remain extremely young. You get Unk status at 30. Like, this is... I hope you guys are focused on your investments. I appreciate you guys being here, trying to get your investment game up, but saying Unk status is insanity. I'm 61, first time here, and I'm going to make sure that you stay. We're going to get off this topic, and I apologize. This is not the way the community usually is. We're going to talk about markets in extreme fear. Okay. Speaking of markets in extreme fear, I do think crypto is going to get out of extreme fear, hopefully soon. I'm not calling anything, to be fair, but yeah, dude, I'm taken back by these you guys are making... Why is it in extreme fear? It literally is. Look, well, I'll show you right now. Thank you. Finally, some market talk. No more Unk comments. There is a fear and greed index. And so we can see how people are feeling. Boom. We are officially in extreme fear. Now, we've been dipping in and out of it, to be very fair. Like, even extreme fear last close as well, also extreme fear. It's happened a couple times. They explain the different areas and how they get to it. But yeah, it historically is the right time to buy. I'm not suggesting that, like, we're still at like 24. I think during Liberation Day, we got as low on the fear and greed index of like 3 or something. That was a pretty screamer of a buy. So 24, you can still end up lowering and lowering and lowering. Yeah. Is this the 61-year-old, the pool player? I also follow a little bit of pool. Well, not as much pool as what's his name? What's the pool player's name? Reyes. Somebody help me out. I clearly don't watch a lot right now. But Ronnie O'Sullivan, little snooker action. I watched some of that. So I can hang with the cool folk. Efren Reyes, thank you so much. Efren Reyes, the king. I like a little 9-ball, little 10-ball action. My dad is 83 and watching you. He's checked out by now. He is not watching this part of the stream. I've said Unk too many times. I said Smash Bros. Players too many times. Not into poker. The cool folk are the Smash players. I mean, Uncle Rico says he's legit Unk. Yeah. Yeah, no, we covered that, William. Definitely sucks. And I don't know how that happened so quickly after Trump and Xi ended up, shaking hands. But yeah, you should host a pool tournament. I literally would love to. I'm not very good. But I have a snooker player at my house. Nice. What are your mains at Smash Brothers? You seem like a Game and Watch guy. I'm not lucky enough to play Game and Watch. I'd be hitting ones every time. What size and weight of cue do you use? I use a 19 ounce. The size, I'm not even sure. Standard, I don't know. But a 19. And then obviously, yeah. Do they allow pool cues in Canada? They can be used as a weapon. I would love for you guys to come here. It would feel exactly like America. I find it so similar. It's not even a big deal at all. Everyone thinks like it's some different space. I don't know. No way y'all know the size of cues. Well, you need to know the weight. I'm not super into it. But yeah, it usually ranges from somewhere around 18 to 21. I know some people, I think, like the You know what I heard about the online? Unfortunately, you can never stop someone from jerking off to you. So it's just part of the internet that I have to focus on me. Just know, InShot, you should have some shame. You need therapy. We shame that behavior, but I also can't stop it. So no one can. I'm glad I'm not the only one. No. Okay. Nerding out on cues right now more than SoFi. No, I'm happy to nerd out on SoFi. What's it called? We'll end up putting out a video tomorrow on SoFi. Well, I'll talk a little bit about the website traffic as well as the 10Q. We have a lot of new slides. Yes, so sorry. So, okay, understand this, AP. For anyone that wants to join the Discord, it's completely free. Okay, it's just to help the community. I'm not selling anything. And the 2,400 people or whatever that are in there can attest to that. There's like, all we do is just talk stocks. That said, I can't control the bots that are not on my server. If there's any bots on my server, we ban them immediately. if they act as if they're on the server, they change their profile picture to me, they change the name and everything, I cannot, there's no reporting system for them if they're not on the server, if they're just like on Discord. So that's hard. So unfortunately, I'm not going to DM you. Try not to get scammed. There's no private Discord. There's no additional layers or something like this. Yeah. I also have just put in a tiny amount of money to make my logo animated or to have my name have a background and stuff. They won't replicate that. Bots are not going to spend money to replicate what my account looks like. So there's some ways to tell the difference. But yeah, make sure that I'm a mutual on the server and that it says that I'm actually the owner and not that it's in the description, because they'll make the description look like that. But in the actual areas where it says the roles that I hold in that server, that would be my actual account. Where's the server link? It is in the description, or it is right there as well in the QR code. Or it's in the description. Yeah, it's not for anything other than to just talk stock. My friend works for Google. He said he could find out where you live. Okay. All right. Well, I use Bing, so fuck you, okay? But I am on YouTube, so he's gonna win. He's gonna win. Small Trump news. I'm thrilled to announce an incredible trade and economic deal between the United States and Uzbekistan. Okay. This is sort of the rule of Discord. I'm not reaching out to you. Not that I don't want to. Some people reach out to me. They say, hey, thanks for setting up the Discord or something. Like, I've got no problems with that. But I'm just, there's 2,400 people. I'm not all DMing you exclusively. It's usually in every single, like, pick the platform, WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, whatever. You're always going to have massive amounts of scammers, sketchy individuals. Like, there is definitely a lot of not nice things that breed on those types of platforms. But there are also some of the best areas to create community as well, if you can separate yourself from those things. Robert said, I thought I'm special. Nope. Tanner, I got my wife to watch you now. Can you say hi to her? Hi, TD's wife. Nice to meet you. I'm an Intel analyst. I can find out where you live. Okay, guys. Tanner, chill in the D picks. What does this mean? Like tier list D picks? Is that what you mean? I don't have a day job. I do this full time. I did feel like I was saying that a little bit, but that's the name. That's the only name that I have to go off of. Yeah, Intel analysts are finally having a good day, eh? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for me. This was a fun little off-topic stream, but we got a lot of work done in the front end. Okay, so if you guys didn't see that, so you're unemployed. Yeah, I'm unemployed. I'm living off donations here. Thank you, guys. And that's not true, by the way. Don't feel like you need to donate. I'm doing just fine. But if you guys want to get the more serious part of the stream, make sure you check out the front half. The back half is a little too many jokes and good times. So thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. But bye for now.